Hi, everybody!
So I hope you all had a great Christmas. This will probably be my second video back. We recently did a video with John McBaugh. We covered SNK's future going forward into 2024, and we also decided that it was time to discuss the games that we are very excited for in 2024, and also games that we aren't so excited for in the upcoming year. So, without further ado, here's Johnny.
Hi.
What?
This is no ASMR mode.
Ah, okay. I thought you got throat punched.
Fine, no ASMR mode.
I thought you got throat punched by your dog. That's
No. If anything, I would get headbutted.
I mean, same difference.
Yeah, headbutted but not throat punched. But I feel like that's neither here nor there. But yeah, hello. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
So
That is probably the least weird joke you've tried with the intro.
at least for now. But I mean, we can't do weird ASMR stuff. Or I mean, we'd be doing stuff like this. Sorry, headphone users.
I get the feeling Godo wants to kick you in the nuts right now.
He probably will when we meet one day. I don't know. But anyway, let's go on our topic here. Something for games for 2024, right?
No, I think we should probably mention something right off the hop, since it kind of relates to the games that we're excited for in 2024. You start first.
We're both each getting a game that's coming out in 2024, but this is also tied to our Christmas gifts.
Yeah, because we were like, what game do we want to get each other? And it's like, I even had non-game stuff that I pitched you for Christmas, and I was like,
you were having a really difficult time. But again, what's your phrase that you tell me?
Shoot the shit?
No. When it comes for getting gifts?
I can't remember.
You say I'm hard to buy for.
You are! Even your girlfriend says you're hard to buy for.
Well, I'm sorry. What's the problem?
Not so much of a problem, it's just a fun dilemma.
It could also be more of an annoyance sometimes, right?
You're like a Rubik's Cube.
There you go, Rubik's Cube for Christmas. Done. But yeah, no, we each got ourselves something, so this is gonna tie into our most anticipated games, or games that we want to play this year. But we'll get to that soon.
What game did I get you?
Grand Blue. Fantasy Relink. I am so excited to play that one.
I am actually kind of curious about that game too, but not at full price for me.
Well, fun fact, actually, because this will be past the time of the announcement, that game has now gone gold. So it is done, and there will be a demo this in January for it.
I didn't know it was getting a demo, so that's pretty cool.
So that could give you an incentive to take a look at. But I feel like there's something I wanted us to do with that. But before I speak the idea, what did I get you?
You got me Persona 3 Reload, which I am so thankful for because I'm going to be creating content around that basically the day I get it.
Mm-hmm. And that's something I want to do with Grand Blue as well. And I feel like the idea we could do for that is, since they're so close to each other by a day, we should discuss what we liked about them and possibly which one we would prefer. And why we would prefer these games.
I definitely like that idea. That's pretty cool.
So we'll save that, yeah. But for release dates, Grand Blue's out February 1st. P3R, Persona 3 Reload, is February 2nd.
It's so funny that they released a day apart, but they're kind of different types of RPGs, so I think it's fine.
But there's like another big RPG that's also coming out in February as well.
What one's that?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
Oh, I can't believe I forgot about that.
On a leap year. On a leap day.
Yep.
That's the 29th.
So, it's almost like they planned that one.
But I think we'll say right now, at least if we're going to talk RPGs, February is going to be a big month for JRPG fans. Definitely.
Yeah. It's like, honestly, if you're a JRPG fan, you have not had a bad year since 2019, I would say.
You've been having good releases. And the
Yeah,
other thing, like, if we're also gonna count re-releases, for instance, you're getting Cold Steel 3 and 4 on PS5 in February as well.
which I think is pretty cool, but also I didn't grab them because I didn't see the point in doubling down.
Yeah. If you're a big fan though, or if you've never played them, like, then it would be worth it to get Cold Steel 3 and 4. Plus also,
Well,
God
I am a
forbid,
huge
if Reverie was your first Trails game, you might want to see what the past looks like.
well. The thing is, I am a huge fan of the franchise. You know that.
Yeah.
It's just a case of like they didn't offer anything compelling enough in the new edition of the game to be like, okay, I need to get it again.
This is mostly for new
Yeah,
players or who aren't familiar with the Trails games. So this is
yeah.
where that release comes into play.
Also, it was kind of I was kind of annoyed when I looked at the collector's edition from NIS America because they basically are like, oh, here's the collector's edition items from Cold Steel 3 and 4, but you only get some of them, and you get a map of Zemuria.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's also like the standard edition price here for it. It's pretty expensive.
It is. Um, so, like, that was another knock against it for me. But, like, the thing is, the only thing that would be really worthwhile for me would be the Zemurian map, and the thing is, not that nice, so it's
If it's a
like, eh.
cloth map, then it'd be like, okay, then that's a higher consideration at that point.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like it's the whole of Zemuria, it's just the western part,
Yeah.
and not all of it's filled in, so it's like, this is a very lazy throw-in.
Is it probably just for story purposes?
I don't think so,
No.
because they touch parts of the map that we don't visit, or
Mhm.
haven't visited yet, so it's like, why are you omitting some things and including other things that don't tie into the stories so far?
But we are missing out on stuff that's coming out in January.
Yeah. So, what games are you looking forward to in January?
Apparently, this might be a controversial opinion for some. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
I was just about to say that one. That is a game that I'm really looking forward to because I like good 2D action platformers. I like good platformers in general.
It looks like fun. I love its style, and I feel
Mhm.
like it's going to be something interesting. Like, yeah, this may not be the Prince of Persia game that people want, because they're more used to what the Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and, say, the Two Thrones were. No. Yeah, that's what it was, I believe. I need to take a look at that. But anyway, for that Prince of Persia, but the original Prince of Persia games were like 2D side-scrollers.
Yep.
And so it's nice to see them go back to that style, but also go Metroidvania-esque with it. I think that's really going to help this game stand out.
I think so too, but I also am starting to notice something, and I think that a certain friend of ours is going to be pissed when I say this. I feel like Metroidvanias are starting to become oversaturated again.
We're getting to that point, I would say, a little bit, not just with that, but maybe with even, say, like, other genres as well. But you're seeing its prevalence, or its presence, a lot higher. Because here's another example. Here's another game that's coming out, actually, in January. That is also a Metroidvania. Laika, Age Through Blood. But here's the interesting thing with it. It's not like a platformer of sorts. You ride a motorcycle. It's what I think they termed it as a motorvania.
I definitely saw that, and I'm definitely curious in about that game, even though I don't have a Switch, sadly.
It should be out on PC as well because I played the demo for it on PC. It is coming on other platforms, but the Switch version is the one that's coming out in January. It's already out on other platforms.
Yeah. I'm just saying, though, that, like, you know, I do have access to it. It's just a case of I don't have access to the version that's coming out in the near future because it's already out now.
Exactly. But continuing on through the list, obviously Prince of Persia, I'm excited to play that. There's actually a demo coming out on the 11th, so that'll be a good idea to try it and see how it holds up.
I'm also kind of looking forward to Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
I really want to play that, but there's something else that comes out that day.
What game comes out that day?
Tekken 8.
Oh shit, yes, I didn't notice the date on Wikipedia. I was just like, oh yeah, what games am I looking forward to?
Yeah, no, I want to play Infinite Wealth. I still need to play Like a Dragon, though.
I need to play all of the Yakuza games, and I actually have all of the ones that have been released for PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for helping me out with that a little bit, by the way.
Oh, with the suggestions of what to look for?
No, you gifted me one a while back.
I think so, a while ago, yeah. But yeah.
I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But anyways,
But yeah, Infinite Wealth, Tekken 8, same day. Tekken 8, at least for us, that's the big one.
That's the big one.
That's the big one. And I'm very excited to play Tekken 8.
I am getting it day one,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually planning a 24-hour long stream that day.
For it. I have it pre-ordered. Yeah. I'm hoping to get it for launch day. If not, I will be doing something at least with that game when it comes out.
I'm grabbing it digitally. I'm just waiting a little bit longer to grab it.
I already pre-ordered a physical copy, so I just gotta wait for it to ship, like I said, but...
I was going to go physical, but then I got to thinking, well, I game share with Godo, so I might as well just get it digitally like I did
both can
Tekken
play
7.
Together.
Yeah.
There's another fighting game that's also coming out that I want to
Under
play.
Night.
Yep.
Under Night in Birth 2, which I'm intrigued by. I want to play the first one. Never played any French-bred fighting games.
I played the first Under Night in Birth that came out, the one that came out on PS3. That's actually one game I imported because I thought at the time there is no way that game is getting localized, and then 2 months later it got localized. I'd be like, son of a bitch.
And let me guess, you got the localized version as well.
Nope.
Fair enough.
I only went with the Japanese one, so... But with what I've tried of Under Night in Birth, I liked it. I actually got to play a little bit of it with Godo and Mad Belmont when they did an open beta test.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I want us to try more of, but I feel like that might have to take a backseat for a little bit.
Let's go.
Just because of Tekken 8.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as I want to play it, there's something
Another
bigger.
game... Yeah, exactly. Another game that kind of has me intrigued, I don't know if I'll get it right away, is The Lost Legends of Redwall, the Scout Anthology.
Oh yeah, I saw that there. That looks like a cute little adventure game.
Did you ever watch the Redwall shows as a kid?
No.
They were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Best way I could describe it is like Game of Thrones for kids.
Just not as gory or violent or sexual.
Yeah. It could get violent, though. Very violent.
I was gonna say, if there's any sexual stuff, it'd be like, why is this for kids?
No, definitely no anything of that
Please,
nature.
no. There is one other thing that we have to talk about, though, that's coming out.
In January?
Yes.
What's that?
Last of Us Part 2 Remastered.
Fuck that game. Fuck that game. Fuck that game. And fuck Naughty Dog.
I still need to play it.
Let's just say you are not gonna have fun.
But then again, the vibes of Part 2, at least when I initially saw it at launch and kind of throughout, is it reminds me of Outlast. You are not meant to have fun with it.
Which
that is the point.
Which to me means the game fundamentally failed.
But then again, it did so frickin' well.
Debatable.
At least, I mean, if you're talking awards and review scores and stuff. That's what I mean.
Well, we know that's fixed.
Just like with anything else.
Yeah, because the thing is, it did well critically from the critics, but if you look at actual gamers, they said, fuck this shit.
Mm-hmm. But you could put this on the list of games we don't care for.
No. It can get in a bin and fucking do one.
I think I will try it at some point. I at least appreciate the idea of it where if you have the PS4 version, it's just a $10 upgrade, and they didn't do like what they did with Last of Us Remastered.
Well, the thing is, The Last of Us Remastered for the first game, at least when they did it for PS4, it was understandable because there was no backwards compatibility from PS4 to PS3, so
Yeah, so at least with this one, they're not making, if you own part 2, you don't have to pay full price for it. You can just get a $10 upgrade from your PS4 version.
honestly, though, I feel like it should just be a free upgrade because
It should be, honestly, yes, but it's
I
not.
think the $10 upgrades for games that you can still play, because the PS5 is backwards compatible and people seem to fucking forget this.
Mm-hmm.
It's very anti-consumer to pay $10 for a slight graphical upgrade.
At least you could say Xbox kind of had the smart idea with smart delivery, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have an issue with smart delivery.
What's that?
And that's in the form of preservation. So, like, yes, you get a game, and it is smart delivery. Which version do you actually have on the disc?
The older version, but
Not always, though. But I'll get to that in a minute.
what I think they could do is they could be like, okay, fine, here's a physical version for those who want it. It's $10.
Mhm.
That I could get behind a little bit because that at least preserves the game a little bit.
I do have it, like, I'll get to... you had just made me think of something they could do with Last of Us Part 2 remastered. But for Xbox, yeah, because it varies, like, what version's on the disc.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I'll give you an example. I have Wanted Dead. And the Xbox One version's on the disc. Not the Series version. But I have Scarlet Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
The Series X version's on the disc.
Interesting.
So, I think it all depends on the size of the game. That's sometimes a factor with it.
Yep.
But that's my issue with smart delivery when it comes to preservation. So it's like if I want to play Wanted Dead in the future, and say I want to play the Series version, and if they shut down the servers and everything, I can't get that Series X version anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But here's something they could do. You just made me think of this for Last of Us Part 2. If GameStop could do this as an idea. So you want to get the PS5 version? You have the PS4 version, trade it in, pay the $10, and here's your physical copy.
That's agreeable, I think.
I think that should happen, because I remember that happening on... I did that with Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Battlefield 4 for Best Buy. Bought the PS3 version, traded it in, pay $10 to get the PS4 version.
Agreeable.
That would work. If they could do that, or if GameStop could do something like that, I will trade in my PS4 version. Easy.
Understandable. So another game that I'm pretty interested in is the remastered collection of Tomb Raider.
You know when that's coming out?
February 14th.
What is the 14th?
Valentine's Day.
So is Laura gonna be your Valentine?
Fuck you.
Hey, I'm just saying, that's where everything lands.
I wasn't gonna get it that soon. But
I'm excited to see that remaster.
as am I, because I actually never got to play the first 3 Tomb Raider games.
So, this would be definitely something you'll see. I would hope there could be limited run as a physical copy of that. Because I'd like to own a physical copy of it.
I wouldn't be surprised if they wind up doing so.
There's also something else coming out in February that I'm curious to try. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
I am kind of interested in that.
I think that game could be fun. That looks like it would be a very fun co-op game.
I agree, and if we can make it align, I would actually do co-op streams with you.
Mm-hmm. And that would definitely be one I would consider for us to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it could be a fun ride. What
Definitely.
else is there?
It's not a game I'm going to get out and go for day one, but it's a game that I would grab.
Mm-hmm. It's on
Skull
the
and
list.
Bones is Skull and Bones. That's another game on my list. I know it's not exactly looking the best or anything, but
I did try a little bit of it.
what did you think?
It seems alright. It seems alright. It seems a little rough, but I imagine just like with other Ubisoft games that are live service, like Division, Rainbow Six Siege, they're going to be improving it over time.
Definitely. And the thing is, it just looks like it'll be mildly fun, and I
Mhm.
might just pop it on when I want to play something a little bit different.
But it's the same story as Suicide Squad. It's not going to be immediate by day one, but it's definitely something to pick up down the road.
If it's $20, I'm buying it.
Yeah, if it's like that price, then it'd be like... I would say like $40 or less. Then I would definitely put it in consideration for sure. But if it's $20, then yeah.
What's another game you're kind of looking forward to, John?
It's another remaster.
Go for it.
Star Wars Dark Forces.
Okay. I am not familiar with that one.
It is a first-person shooter that came out back in the 90s. It was actually really fun. And it's nice to see Night Dive get to do its remaster work on Dark Forces, because it also has one of the best characters in Star Wars history.
Which character is that?
Kyle motherfucking Katarn.
Don't know him, but cool name.
Kyle Katarn is probably one of the best characters I've seen in Star Wars. And I thought he was gone when Disney took over and they retconned quite a few things, but it seems like they're bringing that stuff back.
It's good that they're bringing that stuff back. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that's one that's on my radar. I'm not getting it right away, but it is a game that I am going to play at some point.
I will be getting that day one, because I need to know what happens. I need to know what happens to that story.
For me, I want to know what happens, but the thing is, I also know that my backlog is so fucking large at this point that it's like, when the hell am I getting to this?
At some point.
So it's like, yeah, I can wait until it's on sale.
So yeah, you can wait on that one at least a bit.
Yep.
And then now we move into March.
Unicorn Overlord, that is a big game for me.
I want to play that. That actually looks like a lot of fun.
That one is going to be a day one for me because I know my community loves Vanillaware games, and I really love tactical RPGs, so it's a good fit for me in general. I'll be making content around that one.
I want to pick that up too. I might hold off on it for now just because of everything I'm getting in January and February. So that might have to be that's going to be a bit of a wait, but that's definitely one on the list.
For me, Tekken 8 is like the big one in the early portion of the year. And that's the only one I super care about in the very early portions to get right away, because I'm already getting Persona 3 Reload.
And same for me with Grand Blue. Like, I really want to play Grand Blue.
And Unicorn Overlord, it's kind of in a place where I know I'm going to make content around it right away. I might as well get it right away so that I can, actually be close to the top for that.
For that one. Makes sense.
And it releases like early March, so there's not really much else going on around then except for Rise of the Ronin, which is late March. But I'm not actually going to get that for a very long time. It is a game I'm very excited for, don't get me wrong. It's just a case of I've had my fill of open world action adventure titles, so it's kind of I'll buy it when it's cheaper.
Same thing for me. Like, I'm gonna get Rise of the Ronin for sure, but the one thing I want to do first is I still need to finish Wolong. And since most of its DLC is out, or I think all of it is now, I want to play through all that before going to Rise. But there is one thing that's coming out in March that I want to play for sure. That's is the Alone in the Dark remake.
Nice. I never played those games, so I don't have any history with it.
Yeah. I've never really played a lot of the Alone in the Dark games. I played the one that they put on the Xbox 360, which was just okay. But Alone in the Dark is a franchise I am familiar with. And I would like a new kind of horror game. But that's not the only horror game that's coming out. But this is the one for that month. But this is the one that has me intrigued the most.
And you know me, I'm not super huge on horror games, usually.
But I feel like this one could be one that's interesting for people to look at. Because the thing is, the original Alone in the Dark is one of the original survival horror games.
Yeah.
So, Alone in the Dark has its place in history. And it's nice to see it come back.
So plus, this kind of moves us into April and June.
Not yet, because, like I said, there's one other horror game that's coming out in March I would like to try, but I feel like I need some people with me with it. The Outlast Trials.
Don't know that one.
Remember how I said Outlast was one game that's designed to be not fun to play?
Yes.
This is the same thing, just with co-op.
Ah.
So I feel
So
like
be
this could be
memorable together.
Yeah, it'll be memorable together, all the terrible things that happens. But I feel like that could be, like, if you ever want to do a co-op stream and we wanted to try that, that's another one we could put on the plate next to Suicide Squad.
I would be up for it. I don't know how long I would be able to last, but hey.
Are you sure you can't outlast the trials?
That was one of the jokes that would be on par with one of mine.
Mm-hmm. That's why I thought of you with it. But if anything, if we want to try Outlast, maybe we'll wait till October, because it makes sense for spooky season.
It definitely does, and it'll probably be on sale by then.
Mm-hmm. And then if we continue on, there's one big one for April, for me.
What's that?
Ayuden Chronicles.
I was just about to say that. I didn't know if you had something else in mind, though.
Well, no, Ayuden's the big one, but that's also, like, a special one, because I remember backing that game on Kickstarter years ago. So I'm glad to finally see that game come out.
I bet. And the thing is, I wanted to back it on Kickstarter, but I didn't have a credit card when they were doing that at the time, so it was just a case of, nope, I don't have the assets to do this, so
So, but hey, you're at least gonna get a chance to play it, though, when it comes out in April, and by what I've seen of it, it looks awesome.
It looks amazing, and I'm gonna be getting it day one, because again, it's another game I'm gonna make content around.
There's also another one that's coming out in April that I want to get some more information on, and it's a level 5 game.
I know the one.
Which one?
Oh, excuse me.
Use you.
I know the one you mean. That's what I was trying to say before I yawned.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry for that.
No, that's okay. So, yeah, Megaton. I'm curious about that game.
I am curious about it, too, because I do like level 5 as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's interesting to me.
That could be a good one, yeah. I want to see more on it, though, before making that judgment.
Again, it's one that I'll consider and probably grab when it's really cheap.
Mm-hmm. But no, Ayuden's the big one. I'm very excited to play that. I know I'm gonna take some time to get to that because I still need to get to System Shock and Sea of Stars. So I'll probably do something on that, but I have to say that, you know, I'm a backer of it, so I could be a little bit biased, maybe.
Which is fine.
But we'll have to see when that game comes out. But going through other things, at least that we know that... These are only things right now that we know have some confirmed, at least release windows or dates. Black Myth Wukong.
I'm 50-50 on that one.
That game looks incredible.
It looks great. It's just, I don't know if it's my kind of game, so I'm like, I'll wait.
Now, I saw it. It looks amazing. I want to try it. And I'm always curious about things like with Journey to the West. And that seems to really tap into that. So I want to know what their version of it is going to be like.
Definitely. One that I'm super excited for is The Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak. That'll probably be my game of the year.
And that's, yeah, we're saying the summer.
I'm going to say it'll come out late July. Like mid to late July, just like Reverie did.
That would make sense. And that's something I have to put into because, like, I want to play that game. It looks incredible. I just hope we don't have to wait long for its sequel.
I have some insight into that. It's going to get announced at Tokyo Game Show, as for when we'll get it, and I'm hearing that it'll probably be a February-March release of 2025.
So you're going to say early next year. Early 2025, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Because the thing is, they want to get East 10 and Trails Through Daybreak 2 out to us as soon as they possibly can.
Which I'm hoping for East 10 Nordex next year. Or this year. I really want that game. I'm so excited for that.
I think it's going to be a 2025 release for us.
You think so, for East 10?
Yep.
And then the other...
Go on. Because Falcom still sticks rigidly to their outside publishers can't work on our titles until they're released for the Japanese audience. So if NIS America got the rights to East 10,
which I'm pretty
it's
sure they
in-
do.
Same. It's in very early stages at this point in terms of translating.
But so
Now,
far, it seems like their relationship has been working out well, so...
Yep. Now, East Games, they're the biggest in terms of, translation work, so maybe 2024 works.
Mm-hmm.
But I think given they're not going to want to compete with Trails Through Daybreak 1, which is, a starting point for Trails newbies, they're going to want to let that one breathe a little bit.
Yeah, or they could do kind of like what they did in 2023, even though it was just kind of more of like a re-release or a upgraded version of sorts. Ease in, like what they did, Ease 9 in May, and then Reverie in July. So
Yeah.
they could give it a few months gap. Like you could put, say, Daybreak in July, and then have Ease, say, before the end of the year.
That would work. I could definitely see that working.
And then the only other one that
Also-
we know for sure that has a date is Space Marine 2.
Not one that I'm particularly enamored by.
Not your kind of game?
Not really.
Yeah. I like the first Space Marine. I actually want to do a playthrough of it before Space Marine 2 comes out. Is just something satisfying about taking a chainsword and slicing somebody in half with it.
It's definitely entertaining, at least.
If it's co-op, though, maybe we could take a look into that one, though.
If it is, I'd definitely be willing to give it a go.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, though. But that's something I want to play for sure. I don't know if I'll do day one with it, but it's something that's on the radar for sure.
There are 3 more that will probably release in 2024 that are on my radar, and one that probably is going to get pushed to 2025, but there's a couple more games for me.
Well, we still got a lot more to go through, so let's keep going.
Yeah. What one's for you?
Well, if I had to pick something, one that I'm still hoping comes out in 2024 is I want Stalker 2.
Okay.
Because the Stalker games are actually very interesting because they're very atmospheric. They're open world shooters. Yep. But they're very atmospheric in terms of its setting and design, but also suitably creepy.
Nice.
So
okay, there's actually 4
one.
games for there's 4 games for me that are definitely coming out in 2024.
So you go with the next one.
Lollipop Chainsaw Repop.
Ah, yes. Since I'm a little sad with that one though.
Same, but I enjoyed the first one, and I'm kind of curious to see what the new stuff is going to be.
Yeah. I have the first one for 360. I need to sit down and play it. I probably want to do that before it comes out.
It's a fun guilty pleasure.
Just like Shadows of the Damned, which is also getting a remaster for 2024.
I've never heard of that one.
Your gun is called Johnson.
Interesting.
No, you have a partner called Johnson, and he transforms into a gun called a boner.
Very interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. Please send that to me on Discord.
Okay, I'll send you a link for Shadows of the Damned, but yeah, no, that's apparently getting a remaster this year, just like Lollipop Chainsaw, which are both from Grasshopper Manufacturer.
Nice.
So
Metaphor ReFantasio, that's another big one for me.
That's the fall, they said, right?
Q3 to Q4.
Okay. No, that's one I want to play. I think that game's going day one on Game Pass, right?
I don't know.
If it is, I'm playing it there to start with.
Then, of course, Iuden Chronicles Remastered. That's one that's on my radar.
Which one?
Iuden Chronicles, or not Iuden Chronicles. Fuck. Suikoden remasters.
Yes, I was upset that it didn't come out in 2023.
Me too.
But no, Suikoden, that's a big one. I really want to play those. I actually have those on PS1, but it's nice to see them getting a remaster treatment. You know what would be really crazy?
If they release it the same day as Iuden Chronicles.
Yes. Same day, or even same month. You could see it happening, though.
I get the feeling Konami's gonna do that just to be petty.
But I think Iuden will sell better.
I think they're gonna sell about equally. Visions of Mana, that's the last game that's confirmed for 2024 that I'm excited for.
I need to play some of those some of those Mana games.
As
But
do I.
I know, we know Shinki's gonna be all over that one. Belmont's gonna be all over it too. But to be fair, Vision looks great.
As is As of the Ace. Please go and
Yep.
follow all of these people that we just mentioned, because they are all wickedly awesome.
Mm-hmm. But that game actually looks impressive.
It does. It really does.
I would be shocked if that game does not do well.
Same here. And then the final game that kind of has me excited is Wolverine, which is rumored to come out next year or this year, depending on when this releases.
Well, here's hoping it does, but also with what happened at Insomniac and seeing their future plans leaked, that sucks. But I'm excited to see everything that they're going to be doing.
Me too, and I get the feeling that not everything they're working on leaked.
There might be some more, yeah. But I think it's just if anything with the leak, we'll just go on the side tangent for a sec. It's just superhero stuff.
Well, here's the thing. They have a contract with Marvel, and I think that what leaked is just the stuff that they have contracted with Marvel.
Yeah, just that, nothing else.
Because they've said repeatedly that they don't want to just be a Marvel studio.
Mm-hmm. Because right now, what are they? A Marvel studio and a Ratchet studio.
Yeah, but the thing is, they have a multiplayer project in the works.
Mm-hmm.
That, to my understanding, whatever that is, did not get leaked during the leak.
Yeah, because what was it? It was mostly Marvel stuff, and I think there was a Ratchet thing in there as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think they're going to have another Ratchet game way sooner than that particular one that they mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, they said that Ratchet was going to be a huge thing for them during the PS5 era.
And right now we've only got the one, but at least the one that they've put out has actually been very well received.
Yep. And the thing is, I think that they've probably got 2 or 3 Ratchet projects in the works. They just didn't get leaked, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, it seems like Insomniac are intending to try and get a game out every year this generation, which would put them back on pace to what they used to do during the PS1 to PS3 era.
Yeah, because PS4, they didn't do much.
Honestly, not many studios did much during that era.
Mm-hmm.
There were lots of games, but a lot of the games that
It was more time to make them.
Yeah, but the thing is, what I was trying to get at is the bulk games were basically your yearly releases like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, and whatever random-ass sports game.
But those aren't the only things that are coming out next year. But those games, like your Call of Duties and the EA Sports games, don't really care that much for it. Like, I've fallen off the train with Call of Duty. It's not funny anymore. Yeah. Like, unless they put out a damn good campaign, then I will take a look into it.
Well, you know me, I've never been big on shooters, so that's a thing for me. Also,
I'm gonna pick something here that's coming out.
I'm not super big on sports games anymore. Used to be big on them, but not.
They're more casual interests, if anything, or just like if it's there, it's there.
Exactly.
But there's the remake of Contra, Operation Galuga.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a remake, I believe, of the first Contra for the modern era. And Way Forward is working on it, so you know it's going to be good.
That's going to be really cool. You know, I think we should...
It's a reimagining, it's a reimagining of Contra. Sorry.
I think we should probably move into games that we think will come out in 2024, but don't have anything like concrete yet.
No exact windows. Like Contra, at least in the case of Contra, it is confirmed for next year. It is confirmed for 2024, but we just don't know when yet. They're saying first quarter, but again, we'll wait till we get a date.
Yep. There's that Metal Slug Tactics game from SNK. If
that's ever gonna frickin' come out, I really want to play it.
Me too.
Clock Tower is another one.
I'm surprised we didn't think to discuss Metal Slug in the past podcast about SNK.
Yeah, I know we didn't mention that, but it's just like... But the thing I will say for that is, like, as much as I'm excited for that, I'm more excited for SNK to make a brand new Metal Slug game. I think that would be the big one.
Same here, and I think that they probably have that in the works. They're just at such an early stage at this point in time that they don't want to announce it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of them. Metal Slug Tactics that kind of interested in.
There's a remake of Clock Tower.
Don't know the Clock Tower games.
It's a old school survival horror point and click adventure game that came out on the Super Nintendo.
Nice.
So again, Way Forward's working on a remake of it. So it's still going to be playing the same as the original Super Nintendo game.
Yep.
But it's just going to have updated assets, so higher quality assets and everything. So that's something I'm looking forward to next year.
That's going to be really interesting. Tintin Reporter Cigars of the Pharaoh has me interested.
Another Tintin game, really.
When was the last one?
Wasn't there one last year?
No, this was supposed to come out last year.
Oh, okay. I thought that came out.
No, this got delayed.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, like I was hyped for it last year because the little trailer that we've gotten for it, it looks amazing.
But we haven't seen much since.
You can tell that it's a AA game. It's not a AAA game, but like for a AA game, you can tell it's got some budget and some love behind it.
Mm-hmm. They actually care.
Yeah.
What's another one? Oh, this one I thought was interesting. I played the demo for it. It's a strategy RPG called Demon School.
Don't know that one. Please message me that.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to it. But basically, it's like the idea of it. It's like it reminds me of old school Persona, like Persona 1 specifically.
Interesting. Did you know that there is an untitled Ninja Turtles game in development?
I heard about that, but I heard it was about The Last Ronin. That's what I heard about.
So it looks like there's 2 of them in development right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it lists 2 games under the same entry.
Okay.
It says Untitled Ninja Turtle game, and then it has Turtles Mutant Mayhem game.
Okay. That I've heard of. I heard that one was supposed to be like maybe a brawler of sorts.
Mm-hmm. All I know is I really love the Ninja Turtle games anytime I play them.
Yeah. I really liked Shredder's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
That game was so much fun.
I haven't played it, would love to play it at some point.
I know they just released a new version of it, an anniversary edition, at least a physical copy of it that comes with DLC. But the DLC you can get separately. That's something I still want to try myself.
Gotcha. There's also a game that has me interested just off the name alone.
Mm-hmm.
Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah, I heard there was another Lord of the Rings game in development.
This one is done by Private Division for publishing, and What a Workshop is doing the game.
Okay. So that could be interesting.
That is going to be very interesting because we know that What a Workshop can do amazing things with film using CGI. What can they do with a game?
Hopefully we get something like what happened with Kina, because Kina, like that developer, used to make animation stuff, and then they made a game, and that game was actually pretty good. If you haven't played Kina, definitely take a look into it.
I love it. I haven't played it in a while, but I love it.
Another one that I saw that seemed interesting is like Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. An action
What's
RPG.
That about?
It's an action RPG that has a very interesting aesthetic to it.
You'll have to message it to me.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look into that one more. But one that got delayed to next year that I'm very excited to play is Stellar Blade.
That is one I'm definitely a little bit interested in. I did forget about it, but I'm interested in it.
Yep, that's definitely one I want to play for sure. If that comes out in 2024, that's one I want to get my hands on at some point. Another one, because I've just played the first one and I'm working my way through the second one soon, Little Nightmares 3.
I forgot that was in development.
Yep. I like the first one. I have the second one. I need to play through it. I want to play at least it before getting to 3, because 3 looks suitably creepy. Just like
And
what's
creepy
expected of
games
it.
creepy games are the type of horror I can get behind.
Mm-hmm. You're not full into horror, like monsters
No.
or anything like that. Like, well, if you want to talk horror, I have another horror game here.
Okay.
Luigi's Mansion 2.
That is something that I would definitely want to play when the Switch 2 comes out.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the only one that's missing from being on a current console. Because Luigi's Mansion 2, or Dark Moon, is only on the 3DS.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And then there's another remaster that Nintendo's working on, the Paper Mario sequel, Thousand Year Door.
Another game I'll get when the Switch 2 comes out.
We have to address this one, though, for Nintendo. You think Metroid
What's
Prime
that?
4 is coming out in 2024?
I do.
You think so?
Yep.
Makes you say that?
Basically be the Switch swan song.
What if... I just thought of something with this. What if they use that as a transition title between generations?
I could see that working out.
Like with Breath of the Wild.
I could definitely see that.
Mm-hmm. So, provided we see something on it, we'll have to see when the time comes for it, but... What else is there that's coming out? Oh, on the topic of, like, there was a new Mana game. There was also a new Saga game. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too, and I just scrolled past it.
Yeah, there's a new Saga game coming.
I've never played any of the Saga games.
I have Romancing Saga 3. It's
know
a fun title, but I think Shinky would know more.
Yeah, Shinky is the one to talk to for that, because those are really his...
Up his alley.
Yeah. So is there anything else you kind of want to mention for games, John?
There's a few more, I'm going to say.
All right, because my list is done.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot more. Like, I'm looking through the list. There's a bunch of things I want to try. Another big one for me, Hellblade 2.
I forgot about that one.
That is confirmed for 2024.
Good thing it's coming out on PC. I will just have to get an SSD installed on my
Computer
machine.
For that. Did you play the first Hellblade?
No.
Play it.
I will. I don't have it, but I will play it eventually.
But yeah, no, I liked it. That game was a very interesting mindfuck. But it was one hell of a journey.
I am kind of sad that that company is now owned by Microsoft, because that officially means we will never see Heavenly Sword get a remaster.
Unless, let's say, Microsoft gets their hands on it. Like, does Sony own Heavenly Sword?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, if Microsoft managed to get it back, then that could be a possibility.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony is like, well, we own the IP, why don't we just contract a different studio to make it? But I don't think it ever sold well enough to...
Yeah, I heard it did okay. It didn't do great.
I think if it had launched maybe a year later, I think it would have sold a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was kind of that weird transition period.
Yep.
For the PlayStation 3, where it wasn't at a price that people were willing to really buy it at. And people were complaining it didn't have games when it really did have games.
It's just a matter of looking for the games.
Yeah. And I feel like if they'd been like, okay, 2008, we're really going hard on PlayStation 3. I feel like then people would have been like, oh, Heavenly Sword, this looks amazing. I'm going to try it out.
Then it would have been something into consideration.
Yeah. But I feel like since it was a 2007 title, people were just like, on expensive hardware I don't have. Don't care.
What else? There is a big one, though, for me that I don't know if you would be interested in it, though.
What's that?
Star Wars Outlaws.
No, I'm interested in it. I haven't been following it super hard, but I like Star Wars, so I'm always willing to give a Star Wars game a chance.
Yeah, and this one I'm excited for because it's massive working on it. So, and if you've seen how the new Avatar game did, if that's the kind of graphical fidelity we can expect, I'm so in, and that will definitely push hardware. especially if they're going like big open world or like for planets and stuff. Who wouldn't want to be like Han Solo?
No kidding. I would definitely be into that.
So yeah, Outlaws next year. That's high on my list. I think I'm probably gonna get that one day one. I just hope it's stable. That's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only other one that comes to mind, which I'm glad to see it brought back, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
I've never been able to get into those games, so that one is just not on my radar, but I understand it has a huge audience.
It has a huge audience, at least on PC for sure. So, because there was going to be a sequel, and then it went silent for years until this magical revival for it. So I'm hoping it sticks to schedule and comes out, because like the Bloodlines was actually a fun RPG. Like if you could get past its issues or with enough fan made patches and stuff to get it to work, it was actually a hell of an experience. So if that sticks to schedule for around the end of the year, is apparently when it's supposed to be launching,
yeah,
that'll definitely be one to look into for sure.
I agree.
But that's pretty much most of the list.
It's a pretty deep year, all things considered.
I think we're going to be entering another excellent year for games, just like we had last year, because last year was really damn impressive.
I don't feel like we've had a bad game since 2020.
Like, yes, the only thing that sucks is when things are delayed. But
games get delayed every year.
And then there's like the big one for 2025 that everyone's probably going to stay out of the way of,
which is
Grand Theft Auto 6.
Which I have no fucks to give about that game.
For me, no, I'm excited for it because it's going back to my favorite place in GTA.
Vice City.
Yeah, I love Vice City. Vice City, at least, did you play the old GTA games?
Yeah, I found them okay. They weren't really anything that I was too enamored with, but
no, that's fair.
Also, I'm looking at like 2025, and it looks like that's going to be at minimum a decent year.
Yeah, right now it's just like, but Grand Theft Auto is the big one, and then a new Monster Hunter in 2025 as well. That's the other one. And we know people are going to go crazy for that game. But then again, we're not ruling out the rest of 2024. How much you want to bet there's going to be more things that haven't been announced yet that we're going to see?
Oh, there's going to be tons. It's just a case of these are what caught our attention right now.
That we know of.
Yeah.
That we know of. We know there's going to be more. And sometimes those surprise releases are going to be the best ones.
Exactly. Look at Hi-Fi Rush in 2023.
Yeah, like that just dropped out of nowhere, and you know what? I'm surprised not many more people were talking about it for like their Game of the Year lists, for instance.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, I may have just missed that much, but it feels like that game needs more attention. That game needed more attention, and I'm glad it got some recognition. But I'm still going to stand by what we said in our SNK podcast. That game needs a physical copy.
I agree.
It needs to be preserved.
So is there anything else you kind of want to say, John, before we
wrap up? We'll call it there, at least for now. But I mean, we want to hear from you guys. What are you looking forward to in 2024? There's probably things we missed. But tell us what you have to say, because who knows? Maybe it'll get our attention too.
Maybe. Where can people find you, John?
Well, if you want to find me, I have a Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter. You cannot make me say that. You cannot make me change my mind. But I have a Twitter or an X. I have a Twitch and I have a YouTube, all under the name John McBaughan. I believe those will be listed in the description below.
They will be.
For that. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for having me on this.
Yes, no problem. I hope to do more of these with you in 2024. If you want to see 2 of our previous podcasts, those will be popping up now. One of them will be the SNK one that we just recorded a little while ago. I have no idea what one I'm going to pick for the other one, but enjoy them, and until next time, keep blazing that trail.